Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. It's like for the Kindergarten Memories. Two. You say coloring is talking about is like the number two. Of course, is like could be it's like related to what you call at age two or anything like that, or maybe the number two is like that maybe someday you'll understand too about what I'm talking about. But other than that, that you have right here is from what I talked about, from the first one, right? From the first, video it was is like you talking about. It's like today, besides imaginary, making up your own, you say continent, you say the moticas, you say for the your own continent, for whatever part of the world you say by if it could be maybe by the year 2042 or something like that. And which, by the way, it's like knowing about, it's like people wonder, it's like the things that you can remember is, of course, between page 1 and page 2 or whatever is know about that really anything that you can maybe do or remember, of course, more likely is to say use it for your future references. It is, but it's talking about is like I'll go ahead and use an example right here of a real, you see is the Mississippi River. It is. I'll go ahead and use the Mississippi River, and of course that states like Tennessee, and then of course maybe Georgia, those type of states, of course stuff that I remember I didn't I did some study about you say the Mississippi River whenever I was in the 7th grade, if I remember right. But then of course when from kindergarten years that I don't if I can remember right that I didn't I don't remember doing any type of studies about that, but talk about with real places, with real rivers, and of course with real parks. It is that knowing about. It's like you have a few other parks that I'm familiar with, other than what you call Disney World. It is, but you have that that talking about is the Mississippi River. It's like in what way does Mississippi River flow, and at what direction does the Mississippi River flow? And it's like I guess I remember the answer was something like between that Illinois, from downstream to towards that Texas or something like that, that runs from the north to south. I guess that they were asking for what direction it is that it runs from. But and then you got that that see go ahead and draw the land right here. It's like the land could be, it's like what you call of a part of Tennessee or something like that. But anyway, just do some normal studies about that. But talking about with the real places, it is knowing about, understanding about really about the important subjects. As if you learned such as you say knowing about how much time you have, is knowing about that why is it that a lot of the things that you learn in first grade, and it's like in kindergarten, one or two it is, and of course what they talk about is maybe with silent reading and stuff. And I used to always think that it's like about schools, schools and jobs or whatever you call it. Why is it that it's so important, to learn a lot of stuff? And of course, I don't know if anybody would like to know my feedback, of course, but of course one of my feedbacks, of course, would be is knowing about really, you just really never know really what you want to do whenever you get older. Whenever you get older, that one of these days, that of course you would maybe like to have a computer one of these days, and knowing about really what these connection wires are for, or maybe what this is, what this is used for. Maybe if you like to own one of these days, and of course knowing how to use a cell phone it is, and knowing about really, it's like knowing why do you need this, why do you need a calculator. It is, you have right here is like you people buy them, and then knowing about how to use them. It's like really, I'll just wait until the teacher comes into the classroom and then go ahead and explain to me about that. But there were some times that I remember whenever I was in school, the teacher was there to help you with whatever assistance that you needed help with. But on the other hand too, that knowing about, there were some times that you'll do a test, if you were to do a test and knowing about, yeah, that there is such thing as what you call, if you fail, there is a such thing called failing a test. If you fail or if you pass a test, it is. And a lot of times that you're probably thinking about, it's like, yeah, you know me, I am that type of person. I am that type of person that's going to what you call fail a test. I am not that type of person that's going to pass the test. Because more likely, I am the person that study. Even if I do study every city, in the world, then more likely I am not going to pass that test. That the teacher more likely don't like me, and I don't know. I'm not really crazy about her either, or him. But other than that, is talking about with kindergarten, is knowing about that. Yeah, that a lot of times whenever you're in school, is know about really that. I like hanging out with my friends, and then of course, I like to color and draw and do other types of activities. Go out to the playground, and then of course, it's like I really don't like doing homework, and you say is that you can maybe name a couple of things that you hate. I can maybe name a couple of things that I hate. Really, I don't know about hate everything, but there's some things I do hate, and of course you probably think about it, it's like the things that you hate. It's like really, what do you call real hate? But other than that, I remember whenever I was in school and in kindergarten, it was if I ever got any type of fights, with any other kids, that any type of boys it was, that I remember, a couple of times it was on the playground it was, but other than that is knowing about that, yeah, that if the teacher were to bring something in the classroom, other than it was show and tell, show you about, how this works, yeah, those memories can go on, but other than that is talking about is like that if the teacher were to bring something in the classroom, to show the kids or whatever it was, that I remember that a lot of times it could be a magnet or a big magnifying glass or a telescope, that a lot of times that the kids will be like, I want to see, and then they may be arguing over that, you had it, you had it long enough or whatever. But other than that is knowing about that with the types of creativities that you can do, really, that a lot of times is that if I say, write a paper about what you learned today or something like that, and knowing about, yeah, that anything that's what you call done by me, more likely if it has anything to do with colors, that more likely that will be me, is knowing about, yeah, anything that I can what you call make up, make up my own star or make up my own continent, it is that more likely I would say that that's the type of stuff that I was mainly into. About what you call maybe a flashlight, that gets good energy sources. But then on your hand too, that knowing about between what are the requirements and what are the recommended things and the subjects and stuff like that you would take. Because really, if school was all about what you wanted to take, then more likely that it would be a possibility that you may change your mind later, and knowing that this is not what I want to be. Of course, I don't know anything about computers. I don't know anything about the e-reader, and more likely that some people it's like pick it up. It's like you see it like be like any other normal kid. It's like you're gonna pick it up off the ground somewhere, and knowing about that it's black, and then of course you got a few buttons right here to push on it. But then on the other hand too, that really it stands up like this. What is it? How do you use it? I never heard of it, and I can even see myself. It's like right here. But other than that, it's like knowing about that. Yeah, that there's a few buttons on it, but knowing about really is that really that the fastest way, I guess, is like if you were to buy them. I had a few experiences buying stuff, but other than that, whenever you were in kindergarten, a lot of times it really. You even it was even tough maybe for you to even use a magnifying glass, or as I say, maybe even to write your name. It's like write your name on this paper. In some ways, it was like that people even asked me, how did you learn to write that small? more likely it was